Hi, Jessica. This is their first Dialogue interview. I want to thank you for being a part of that. It's very exciting.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
For the viewers out there, Jessica is the owner of Jessiz Boutique, which is a very fun online store. It's on the Shopify platform, and she does have Dialogue. So very excited about that. So what made you decided to start with Shopify? Like what made you decide, first of all, to just start?
I've always had a passion for fashion and wanted to create a space where people could find unique pieces to make themselves feel confident and without breaking the bank, obviously, because everybody's
Yeah.
struggling these days. So it was a perfect vision to bring that to life. It was just to have Shopify was very easy to work with. And so it also gave me like the flexibility to start small while balancing my regular life of working full time. And also, I love the idea of being my own boss and building something from the ground up. And Shopify definitely helps you do that, being someone who's not knowledgeable of how to do websites and all that. It's definitely a really good platform to start on.
It does make it really easy.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I have to say that was one of the reasons that they started Shopify was they had so much trouble building their own website that they were like, yeah, okay, we're going to give up the surfboard business
Right.
and go into the online store business.
Yes.
So how did you choose your target customer? Did you just like pick you or did you?
So yeah, I kind of focused on people who are like me, busy individuals looking for affordable clothing and kind of going to like a one-stop shop, right? I'm married, I have a child, I have a dog, so I have a
Yeah.
home. So that's pretty much how I build my store was just something that you can different things that you can purchase for your family or and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what I focused on and still focus on to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who haven't been to Jez's Boutique yet, and it's Jessiz
Yes.
boutique, she has a great brand. So you have a
Thank you.
terrific brand. It's really it looks very modern, it looks very fun. So how did you do that? Is that something you just did yourself or did you
Um,
plan with a
it
people or
it's been a long road. I think back of how my website was originally.
Mhm.
I look at it now and I've just come a long way. Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error. Also accepting the criticism from people. And I like that because I want people to be honest with me if I'm not doing something correctly or it doesn't look right. It's always good to have friends and family let you know. Like first thing that I did was I was using fonts that were too light so that it was like hard for people to see. And my
Yeah.
sister's like, I know I'm a little older, but I can't see this. And I'm like, all right, maybe I should change it back to black. And so, yeah, so it was just going through all those transitions. And I think that's what's hard because you have to make mistakes in order to learn and then move forward and evolve. So, yeah.
Yeah, you do. And before I started Styliquin, I was an art director and like everyone thinks that their taste is the best taste
Right.
because we do. I think I'm brilliant. No.
Right.
And someone else may be
Yeah.
like, why would you do that? That's
Exactly.
horrible.
Right.
So there's always this sort of balance between like readability. Okay, that's really important.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, because you don't
navigate.
know what you're purchasing if you can't read it. So,
Right, right. But at the same time, if there's a great saying that says a camel is a greyhound designed by a committee.
right.
And so you have to sort of be a little bit because you have to have your own point of view.
Right.
Your brand is your own point of view. You can't just willy-nilly go,
Mhm.
well, some person who happened to be visiting my sister said this,
Right.
you need to get rid of this. Like you can't follow that. Was that hard?
Yes, because it was picking and choosing what to change. So yeah, it was kind of hard because what I think is nice, someone else may not. So I can't always go by what other people think because I have to be happy with my brand and how it looks at the end of the day.
Yep.
So so yeah, it's hard to kind of figure out what you're doing wrong and and everything. And
Yeah. And people do. When I was working at Ella Bean, um, I had some model shots on my desk that I was going through, and two guys came in. One was like, "Oh my God, can you introduce me?" I'm like, "I'm not a dating service, no."
right,
Um, and the other guy came in, he's like, "Wow, I hope she doesn't give up her day job." And I
right,
was like, "Wow,
yeah,
same models, same pictures, same everything."
right.
One person was like,
Different
he
perspectives.
was like vibrating. He thought she was so beautiful, and the other guy was like,
Right,
"Never." So yeah, that is always a challenge.
right.
So let's see. When did you first see when did you first know you were on the right track? Like how long did you
Um,
go? And then when did you go like, "Oh gosh, I may be onto something. This could work."
right. So I think it was, I've always had issues getting sales from my online store. I'm still working on that, working on like SEO issues and how to get that organic traffic. But my biggest breakthrough was when I started selling on TikTok. And I had,
By the way, we can talk
okay,
online about all
yeah.
those things because I have some things to help you out with that.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah,
Go ahead.
I think with the online store, it's just trying to kind of figure out the back end part of it has been very challenging for me, and I'm still learning. So I think that is like the biggest thing that is an issue and still is. So I'm still trying to perfect it.
Yeah, but when did you so you started working like you have your store, but you're really using TikTok as your main channel.
I was about last year. Last year,
Okay.
that was where majority of my sales were coming from. But then I realized, okay, these are not my customers. These are TikTok's customers. I need to build my own brand, build my own customers,
Yep.
and then evolve from there. So that's where I'm at right now, is trying to build my email list and all that.
Cool. What apps are you using?
I'm using,
Tools that you would recommend?
so tools that I recommend is obviously yours.
Thank you.
Number one.
Famous plug.
Um,
Appreciate it. It's pretty
now,
awesome.
um, it's Aveda, I think it's called. So they do a lot of different channels. They help you with your SEO. They help you with marketing. They have a whole bunch of different apps, and it's AVADA.
Mhm.
Also, Bond Loyalty is good. So people subscribe to your loyalty plan and they accumulate points every time they make a sale. I mean, they make a purchase, and then they get sales like $10 off and stuff like that once they reach, I believe it's like 100 points. I also recommend Up Promote Affiliate. So that's basically people can sell for you and they have a special link and then they get a commission off of that. So
Nice.
those are very good apps to have. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Are you often surprised by what sells and what doesn't?
Yes. No, because it's for me, I love doing my inventory because it's like everything that I like that I would wear. Then I have to kind of like think outside, because as women, we have all different types of body shapes and there's insecurities. So you want to cater to people who maybe want to hide certain areas, to other people who want to show those areas. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like I try to have a little bit of something for everybody, but it is hard to please everyone. So I run into those issues. But
Well, you can't. I mean, you just can't. I remember this is a long time ago. I was doing a catalog of China,
Mhm.
crystal and sterling
Okay,
and stuff.
yes.
Yeah. And I was talking to the owner and he brought in samples of stuff to photograph. And I was like, oh my God, this is hideous.
Right.
Like, and I'm just bad mouthing this particular China pattern. And then I'm like, but never mind. Who cares what I like? What we should put on the cover is the top selling pattern there is.
Right.
And he went, it's that one. And I
Oh.
was like, oh,
You don't know
okay.
where to put yourself, right?
What do I know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you never know, and trends
Yeah.
are changing so fast. So it's kind of hard because you have to keep up with everything, and something that you necessarily wouldn't like, someone else may find interesting or catch their eye. So you kind of have to
Yeah.
keep an open mind. And
So do you kind of have personas for people?
I try to do like my age group because it's something that
Yeah.
I'm familiar with. But I try to keep a little bit of everything there so that there's at least an option for any type of
Yeah,
style.
I just wondered, like, a section for the like me, the big bottom
Right.
girls who make the rockin' world go round,
Right.
or
I have everything grouped like in categories where it'll be like tops, bottoms, stuff like that. So
mhm,
I don't try to like keep anything separate. I kind of keep everything together because also the sizing is a little different. So sometimes someone who's a little bit heavier can fit into something that's like a large or an extra large depending on how the material is. So
yeah,
yeah, that's right. And I've always felt,
cool.
because I've always been a heavier person. So I always
Mhm.
feel like that singling out. I don't really like that. So I try to keep everybody together.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually thinking more of body shapes, but that
Right.
would probably be really hard because I
Yeah.
wouldn't know.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of categorize stuff. And then it gets
Mhm.
too much going on. I already feel like my website's a little overwhelming sometimes because I have so many products.
Yeah. So, what's the hardest part about running an online store?
I think it's balancing everything. I work full time as well, and I'm married and I have a child and a dog. So it's like, making sure that they're okay. My daytime job is okay, and then my customers are okay. It's a lot of hours. Like last night I was up till like 2 in the morning taking care of stuff. And then I have to be up at 6:30 to get ready to make breakfast for my son and get out the door. So I think it's just
Wow.
balancing everything and the home life too, cleaning, cooking, washing.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but well worth it. Definitely.
Well, what's your favorite part?
Customers, how I feel when I get a sale, how I feel when I see people happy with the product. And that's that's pretty much what is driving me to continue because it is hard. So,
Yeah. Well, clear, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me because
oh yeah, absolutely.
really that is a tiny little thing that you
Right.
have.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just like every day it's something new. It's like I have my planner and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this today. And then it's like all these monkey wrenches get thrown at me and I'm like trying to juggle everything while staying calm. So,
Well, I'll tell you a trick that Conrad, the producer, taught
mhm.
me, which is use your calendar as your to-do list.
Right.
So when you want to do something, you're like, all right, when am I going to do that? And how
Right.
much time is it going to take? And I have found that to be so, like, I had such magical thinking
Right.
about, oh, yeah, I'll just do that. 15 minutes, it'll be done. And then you look at your
Never.
calendar, you start
Right.
pushing things down, and you're like, okay, well, 15 was magical. Like,
Right.
you never going to happen. So it made me a lot more realistic about how I spend my time and the fact that I am spending my
Right.
time.
Yes,
That's a real thing, you don't get more of it, you're spending that time, so I think it's
definitely.
really important.
And kind of making it like a realistic calendar because you try to cram so much in one day, it's like you overwhelm yourself because you're like, "Oh my god, I have to do all of this," and maybe one item gets done or is half done by the end of the day. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's definitely a very big challenge.
yeah. I find it one of the things I've had to teach myself is on those days when you had 12 things on your list that you thought you could just bang out, and by the end of the day, you've, like, gotten 2 half done and
Right.
the other
Yeah.
yeah, like 8 or
It
like
happens all the time. That's why I
yeah,
had to go to a calendar and writing what I need to take care of daily because I was just all over the place. So,
yeah. No, that is becoming realistic about it and not being mad at myself, because I
right.
get to Saturday and I'd be like, "Ah, I'm
Yeah.
so mad at myself. I'm just gonna work all weekend, ah."
Right.
And then you're thinking, "Where's your life? Like, like you do really have to pace yourself on it because it's definitely a marathon, not a
Yeah, and it's honestly when you're starting, it's so many hours. I mean, one day I spent literally like 16 hours on the website and I still wasn't done. I still wasn't happy with it. So it's like you have to be patient and just trust the process. But it's hard. It's hard.
yeah. I'm sure everyone listening will be like, "Oh, thank God," because I
Yeah.
thought she
No,
was going to
that's
say it was
normal
easy.
and you cannot let that discourage you. Definitely because it's so rewarding and you just feel so good about yourself. And there are a lot of times like when you're dealing with manufacturers and vendors and sometimes there's issues that are beyond your control. So you have to understand that you know what, attack it as okay, this is an issue I need to fix. Like look at it in a positive way than letting it upset you and want to like stop doing it. And so
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good advice.
yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, did you have any tips or tricks you wanted to share? So, like things you learned along the way that you're like, "Oh, that was better."
I would say engaging with your audience authentically, whether through like social media or email or one-on-one conversations. I feel like when people feel connected to your brand, then they're more likely to continue buying from you and feel comfortable with you because that's really what it's all about. There's so many scams out there that if you make someone feel comfortable and realize that you are a real person and you're just not like a robot behind the computer, I feel like that makes the sales too like come in more because they feel a connection with you. Yeah.
When I met you, I thought she's a people person.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I am.
you are.
Yeah. I love to talk to my customers and so it's I don't know, it makes me feel like warm. So I like
Yeah.
it. I enjoy it a lot. That's what is my goal is to be able to do this full time. So
Nice. So, what would the Jessica that you are now, having, how long have you had your site? In
since
years.
22.
Yeah.
So
All right. So 2 years in.
Mhm.
What would you tell Jessica starting out? Like if you could sit her down and go, girl,
Take your time. Take your time, do your research. I'm very impatient, so that is like an everyday struggle even to this point is just trust the process and just research everything and you're going to make mistakes, but you need to learn from them and keep pushing forward, I would say. And start building an email list as early as possible.
yeah,
That's so important. Like that's everything. That's how you get that straight connection to everybody. So
yeah.
I'm like
How often do
really
you how often do you email people?
so I have automations like if someone abandons a cart or if they haven't come to the store in a while. So I do have stuff that I send out periodically. And then I try to do emails on sales when I'm having sales. Like right now, I'm working on my Black Friday and then Cyber Monday. I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out what I want to do. So,
Cool.
yeah. I don't like to
Well, you
bother people too much because I know I don't really like being harassed. So, I don't want to do that to anybody and alienate myself. So, I try to just do it when I have like a sale going on. And then once the sale is starting to end, then I'll send like another little reminder just in case.
yeah. Well, you might tell them about Styliquin. I
Yeah.
mean, the usage that we see on other stores is people are just 4 times more likely to come back if they shop
Right.
with Styliquin.
Yeah, because it's something different. And that's one thing that I can suggest to anybody who's starting an online business is how are you different from anybody else? There's so many stores out there. Like what makes you different? And always
Right.
have that in mind.
Right. Well, it's
So they
important to remember
stand
with
out.
Styliquin, you need traffic. Like the first thing you need when you get a store
Mhm.
is traffic. Like you've
Yes.
just got to figure out whether you're going to buy it, whether you're going to
Yeah.
send
And
out emails, whether you're going to do YouTube ads. Like
right.
social media will get you so far, but you probably are going to have to set up some
So
kind of a campaign.
That's the other thing that I learned was I spent thousands. I mean, I look back now and I could just kick myself on paid ads. And I'm like, really, what did that get me? I either broke even or was lost money. Like it was just not something that do pay ads, but try to make sure that you are hitting the people that are going to make sales.
Yep.
So that's like one of the biggest things that I'm working on now is getting myself that organic exposure that I've been lacking this whole time. So
Yeah, that is definitely hard.
yeah,
Do you have a blog?
I blog, I do everything. I mean, it's just social media. I'm posting, I'm engaging with everybody, I'm creating my website, I'm doing my inventory. I just everything, everything. And then now I'm ending with my fall stuff. So now I have to start designing my website for the winter.
Yeah.
I try not to do like holidays too much because I just can't do it. It's just too much. So I have
Yeah.
to figure that out how I can include that as well. But
Yeah. I have to say I've been playing with Chat GPT,
Mhm.
and while I wouldn't say like just write stuff because it just sounds like a robot, like it just
So you
does.
have to be careful with that because Google's catching on to that and you could get penalized. So yeah, you can't
Yeah.
really you can use it to a certain extent and then put your own little spin on it. But that's another thing. You have to really be careful with violating certain, like Google has certain rules. Everybody has rules. So you have to make sure you stay within their.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna recommend using it for like outlines,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
when
For
and
blogging.
ideas of what to write about.
Exactly. Exactly. Like get that to help you and then just don't copy and paste because then you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely.
Right.
And engagement is going to be as the AI stuff takes over,
Mhm.
and it's bot versus bot. It's just and it just keeps more and more and more and and people are like, well, first I needed to blog once a week, and now I need to blog 3 times a week, and now I need to blog every day, and
Right.
now I need to blog 3 times a day,
Yeah.
and now and so they're like, and I can't do that, so it's
Yeah.
just bot, and it becomes this thing.
It's hard
So
because you have to stay consistent. And
yeah,
it's hard because when you're one person trying to take care of everything, certain areas lack. So
right. But that's where there's another thing. I know I'm shamelessly plugging Styloquin, but it really does help with engagement
yes.
because Google recognizes events
Mhm.
and Styloquin Styloquin shoppers generate like way more events than non-Styloquin shoppers. They view way more products, they stay longer, they come back more often. And those are all engagement stats
Yeah.
that Google looks at and goes, "Oh, so this store is people are coming back to this store. There must be something here."
Right.
You know, people are doing more on this store. It must be engaging. And so then they start sending more and you'll start to see a lot more
Yeah.
organic traffic.
Yeah, I'm hoping, but all of this takes time. So
Yeah, no,
it's
it
not
helps.
like you set it up now and then you see results in a week. It's months of of waiting for the results. But yeah,
Yeah.
I really do love your app because it's very unique. So the minute I saw it, I was like, oh, I like this because like
Right.
you want to see how everything looks together. Like even
Right.
though I'm a shop owner, like I also like to shop. That's my problem. So yeah, I mean, every other day there's like a package coming home, and my husband's like, again, like, and I'm like, I'm doing research. I have to find
He's
out.
done real good.
Yeah, because that line is getting old. But yeah, so it's nice because you get to see everything together and you kind of like, put an outfit together and it's just it's something different. And that's what I'm saying. What makes you stand out from everybody else? That's
Right.
something that's unique. Not a
Right.
lot of stores. I had never gone into a store and seen that.
So then
Yeah.
that
What I'm
way
saying,
and
like
yeah.
it's nice because
Yeah.
it's unique, it's different, and not a lot of people have it. So it makes you stand out. And that's
Yep.
what it's about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think a lot of people that are getting into the drop shipping space,
Mhm.
they're just sort of like, I'm just going to open a store and I'm going to throw everything at it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had people sign up who've had 20,000 products, and you're like,
Yeah.
20,000 products? Like,
Right. Yeah.
You're just throwing everything at it and hoping something sticks.
Right.
And the stores that actually do well are more like yours that are
Right.
curated.
Yeah,
You know who
because
your audience is.
I
Right,
closely look at everything and say, okay, this is something that I think will sell or
right,
I like it. So
right. But it's really hard to discount your way to success.
yes.
I mean, that
Yeah.
it's just hard. I mean, first of all the drop shippers out there, it's just the margins are
Everything
really tight.
everything's so expensive. All the prices are going up. So I mean, my cost, I had one person who was like, "Oh, please, I only want to pay this much," and I'm like, "That's what my cost is. Like, I still have to ship it to you. I still have, you know."
Right,
I mean, I
right.
don't mark over
Yeah, yeah.
a lot, but I mean, I need to make some type of profit to pay for, all of the apps and everything else that I have to use
Right, you
to
have to
run
cover
my
your
business.
food.
So I have to at least
Right.
cover my costs. So yeah, I mean,
And make a profit. I mean, you're not doing this so that you can be
great.
busy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So true. Well, okay. So I I will talk to you offline about I've got some things I've created like to help you build personas, to help you with copy, to help you with SEO. I
Yes.
will also put those up on the Styliquin website. So if anyone watches, I'll do a resources tab that I don't think we have that up, but I can definitely do that so
Okay.
everyone
Yeah,
can
that would be nice.
get them. Yeah. I mean, it's hard stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
And when you come from not knowing anything about it, it's just like it's like a whole new language to you. So
Yeah.
it's a lot
I
to
think
learn.
I think once people get their head wrapped around SEO, like,
Mm.
we have one that's called How to Outsmart Google,
Right.
and it really explains it's a lawnmower. Like,
Yeah.
you can't outsmart it. It's not like it's this brilliant thing that
Right.
can't be overcome. But you have to remember it's a machine.
Right.
So you can't argue with it. You can't negotiate with it. You can't
Mhm.
hope it gets you. Like, it's
Right.
none of that's ever going to happen. Um, and with copy, it's sort of the same thing because Shopify has some real limitations as far as copy goes.
Mhm.
You can blog, which is good, and
Right.
I'm glad you're doing that.
Yes.
But it also, like within the product copy, it doesn't really let you differentiate. So you got to get your keywords in the product copy in order
Mhm.
to get anything to float,
So
and you
great.
have to
Yeah.
look at your product names. A lot of people are
Yeah.
like, "It's the
Yeah.
mystery shirt,"
Yeah.
which
You got to be descriptive to what it is because they want to
right.
know
But
that
then
it's.
if it's 7 words long, that's
Mhm.
not good either. Like, you've really gotta it's a
Yeah.
little bit of a lot. Yeah.
It is. It's very, very frustrating and overwhelming. Yeah, because I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start naming my stuff like cool different names," and then I realized no one's gonna search for that, so I have to change it. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. But then if everything's like what somebody's searching for,
Mhm. Right,
snoozeroonible.
exactly. Then you're all the way in like the 5th page, and nobody ever goes past the first page of any search engine. So
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're
This is
welcome.
lovely, and, I don't know if Conrad's going to pop in at some point, but,
Mm.
I will definitely talk offline.
Okay, sounds good.
It's been
Thank you
wonderful.
again for having
Well,
me.
thank you. I really appreciate it.
So,
And I love your store.
well, thank you
Jessie's
so much.
Boutique. Got
See,
some really
that's what
awesome
makes
stuff
me
in
feel so happy. It's my baby,
yeah, it's really
so
fun. And
oh,
you have a great brand and you're doing a great job. So,
thank you. Thank you very much. Hoping I could start branching off to other things. I'm trying to get the store running on its own so I can start focusing on other projects that I'm looking to do.